Wade, how's your selection process for this weekend? Is it any more difficult after Tuesday night?
No, it's the same as we do what we always do. We'll look at how people have trained. We'll look at the opposition. We'll look at our past performances, and we'll knock it back as a staff and come up with a game plan and a team to suit that.
And obviously, you rested a few for the trophy. How have you balanced their workload this week when, of course, others have had a game? You know, can you sort of almost separate them into two groups?
Well, the lads who weren't involved on Tuesday, a couple of them, Ben Williams and Bonzi, we thought it would be better for them to get minutes and train. The others came in and had a hard session Tuesday, so loading wise, they've all done around about the same this week. And
tactically, when do you sort of get those players looking at Burton this weekend? Has that been something that from the start of the week, or is that only from sort of Thursday, Friday?
No, there's a little bit dropped into them on Tuesday, so sort of broad themes on Tuesday in the training session. Thursday is a little bit more specific, and then obviously today will be quite heavily around set plays.
And you said after Tuesday effectively that there's moments and scenarios in games where you use Charlie Brown. What's he got to do to be, if you like, more versatile to more situations and sort of more of a 90-minute man?
We really like Charlie, so sat down with Charlie in the summer, and he's in we've got a group of 6 or 7 21, 22-year-olds that we're trying to develop. They've all got areas of development. Charlie's is his athleticism, and in fairness to him, we've put him on a gym program. Sammy goes in with him. He's worked really hard to develop that area, and I do see real signs of progress with Charlie, progress and development. So he just needs to keep pushing, keep working hard, and keep going in the direction that he is.
Is Alfie almost a role model for him?
Alfie did come up in the conversation, because I think if you look at Alfie last season, and Alfie will tell you this himself, but he came in from the beginning of last pre-season, and Alfie's work ethic and attitude was markedly. There was a change in him. He was really committed. His progress wasn't linear, so he had sort of bumps in the road, and he was up and down until January. But he had that base of hard work in him that let him, from January onwards, really allowed him to kick on. So yeah, I think Alfie probably would be a good role model for one or two.
And when you say progress isn't linear, I suppose that just means you can think you're almost flatlining at some points, and then suddenly you'll make great strides. Is that how it works?
I don't think in football anybody's progress is linear. I think there's always bumps in the road, but if you can, as long as you're moving forward and you're moving in the right direction, I think that's all you can ask for.
Burton this weekend, obviously not where they'd want to be in the table. Are you seeing signs of improvement from them? Because obviously there's been a fair bit of upheaval.
Yeah, I think Dino's had a bounce from when he's taken over. I think they've taken 8 points from the last 6, is it? So they're definitely improving. I think they'll target this as a game they have to win. I think if they'd have looked at their weekend fixtures, Morecambe and us at home, they would be needing to take points from those games. So they obviously played well against Morecambe and drew. So I think they would be looking at our game as a must-win for them.
And in terms of you going back out on the road, how do you see that, and sort of what are you asking specifically from the players in terms of, look, here's what we've got to do?
Just concentrate on their performance. So I don't think the performances certainly the score lines of the last 2 games don't necessarily reflect the performances, but have that mentality of going away from home that we've shown earlier in the season.
And when you say the score lines don't reflect necessarily the performances, how much of that is about protecting a little bit of confidence?
I always say to the players that they have to concentrate on performance. so that's all they can do. And looked at Chef Wed. We had plenty of openings ourselves. Can't always base the game off stats, but you look at the Rovers game, and I think Rovers have had 4 shots on target, 5 in the game. We've had moments in it, so I think you keep the players focused on their performance. Don't let them get too distracted by the results. Don't let them get too high when we win or too low when we lose, and try and find the balance in between. And the performances have been okay.
Injuries? How's the squad?
Yeah, I think the same as Will's going to be. Just spoken to Gav. Will Ferry's going to be 8 to 10 weeks. But I think everybody, same squad to select from as midweek.
I mean, that's a blow for losing Will Ferry, but I suppose an opportunity for Ben Williams, and I suppose now at least you know what you're dealing with. Yeah, and obviously Ben came in last season, did very well for us. So same as anybody, it's a squad game. We've got 20, 22, 23 that are all capable of playing. So you're never going to go through the whole season without losing 1 or 2 to an injury. It's just the nature of the beast. Thanks, Wade. Good luck.
Cheers, Paul.
Wade, you spoke about Alfie being a bit of a role model for, or something to aspire to, work rate rise for Charlie Brown, but is Lewis Freestone a good example as well? Because he's, at times, he's had to be patient. Obviously, he played a few games, but he's really cemented himself now at 22 in the starting 11, and he's worked hard, hasn't he, to get that?
No, he's worked really hard, and he would have been frustrated at times, Lewis, because he came into the team and did well, but there were times that you had to play second fiddle to Boiler. But again, I think Will was a good role model probably for Lou in the way that he trained and conducted himself on and off the pitch. And Lou do see elements of Lewis in that, elements of Will in Lewis now.
Have you confirmed, Zidane, that Cirques will be taking the penalty if there's one on Saturday?
Yeah, I think that's all. I think that's been addressed and cleared up.
And you've had a look at Sean McDonald in 2 of the trophy games. How do you think he's done? And because obviously he played a bit in pre-season, but the first time he's played competitive football for Cheltenham in those 2 games, how close is he to really breathing down Luke Southwood's neck?
I think we've got a competitive goalkeeper department. So obviously we were pleased to bring Luke in. We brought Macca was he was Torquay's player of the season last year, and I know statistically he was the highest ranking goalkeeper in the National League, which is a good level. And we're really pleased with Max's development as well. Max has been out at Western, but he's obviously in with us every day, and we're really pleased with how he's progressing. So I'd like to think that the 3 of them are all pushing each other and edging each other on.
Yeah, we spoke a bit about Sambu after the game, about how well he did. Is the plan for him to go back to Cirencester now, or do you think he might be pushing to get on the fringes of the 18?
I think the immediate plan for Ads is to keep working at Cirencester, keep progressing, and we'll monitor his loan and see what his next steps are from there.
And you said Burton will probably see it as must-win at home to Cheltenham. You've always said you can't pick and choose which games you want to get points from, but is it fair to say the next couple of games are going to have quite a big bearing on the season for you?
Our approach doesn't really change. We go from game to game. We work a half at a time, and we work really hard on making sure our mentality is exactly the same for every game, every opponent. So at the minute, we're not looking past the first half at Burton.
Is Grant Wharton still a week away?
Grant was running yesterday, had a little setback. So he ran on the Auto G at 100% on Wednesday. Was out run on the grass on Thursday and had a little reaction to it. So Grant will probably be a little bit longer.
Charlie Raglan come through Tuesday, okay?
Yeah, Rags is fine.